Right, I believe we're live. I'll just turn my sound down when this, because I've always got to do this every week. How are you, Simon?
Yeah, all good. All good for me. How's things with you?
Yeah, not a lot happening. It's the UK, isn't it? There we go. That sounds down. Yeah, okay. Do you want to say hello to a few people first, or do you want to tell us what's going on in Thailand?
Yeah, no. I mean, I see we've got quite a few people in the stream already, and say hello to them. We've got obviously our members there. We've got Texas Dave, Damon, Simmons, Simon. Hi, Simon Anderson, Andy. Who was there? Sean Lester. How do you, Sean? Scott G. HS. I can't even pronounce that one. Pattaya Jimmy. Juan Carlos. Moist Crack McGee. So some of these names are funny.
Yeah, I know. Is that all of them?
I think so at the moment. Yeah, a few more obviously as they come in. David Quaif, Nicholas. Hi, Nicholas.
And just to anybody who's been living on the moon and they haven't been following us, we have got Trevor on standby. He's ready to come into the chat. So, we're actually going to be the questions we're aiming at Trevor today. We're not going to be asking him, are certain bars open on Soy 6 or when do we think we can go back to Thailand? The guest appearance from Trevor, it's actually going to be about Trevor. We want to know about, his life in Pattaya, that sort of thing. So if you've got any questions, feel free to join in. We might get a little bit overwhelmed with the chat, so don't get offended if we don't get round to you, but we'll try our best.
I see it. Trevor's become a very, very popular guy. Be a superstar in Pattaya and everywhere else, eh?
Well, does a good job, doesn't he? Have you said hi to Till, Andy Wheeler, David Quirr, Nicholas Fletcher, Pattaya Jimmy? Right, okay. So what's the latest in Thailand then, Simon? Are we getting back or not?
Yeah. It's open. Everybody can come. Get on a plane next week. But no, nothing much has changed. There's still everything's still planning. They're planning this to still open things in July. Phuket. They're still aiming for this sandbox sort of type experiment. So I think a lot of people are looking forward to that. But people are still arriving. I mean, funny enough, I was speaking to a friend of mine the other day. He's just finished his quarantine, so he's come over from Israel. Obviously, has to do the 14-day quarantine. So people are still coming. It's just obviously you got to do the quarantine. But the only problem is there's not much. If you're living here, that's great. But if you're coming for a holiday, there's not much to do because everywhere's closed. So not too much to do.
Yeah. I'm getting mixed messages because I go through these news articles before my stream on a Saturday, and on the one hand they're saying they're going to have all these safe areas, but then I'm reading on the next page that they're opening up 5 field hospitals throughout Thailand to handle a capacity of 1,000 people in each field hospital. So it's really hard.
Well, it is. There's a little bit of mixed messages going on, but I mean, this is it. I mean, normally most days we're still at around 2,000 odd cases. I think today, I was just having a look today, it's 2,540 something, I think it was today. But yeah, I mean, so, there's lots of mixed news out there, but, don't know don't know what else to really say about it because, not much has changed.
No. Well, that's the thing, and like I say, we're getting mixed messages. So look, Shin's getting impatient there. He's saying, "Where's Trevor?" We're bringing him on in a bit. I can see him down there. He's all ready to go. He's just got his drink. And,
I just looked at you got some comments coming at you already, Trev. Trevor can see all the comments, I think. But yeah, Trev's specialist subject, ladyboys.
Don't say that. He'll walk off. No, okay. Look,
That was just one of the comments. Poor old Trevor. He'll get some stick today, I'm sure.
Right. Here's a question for you, Simon. Sean Lester, did I miss the animation this week? The continued tales of Nat and David, episode 3. Where is it?
No. It is coming up today. There was a slight delay. The voiceover got a little bit had to be redone. So but it is coming today, and it's a good part 3. So hopefully. Once we finish the stream, I'll finish it off and it'll go live today. So, Sean, look out for that later on. I'm sure you'll enjoy it.
What makes me laugh, a lot of people think it's you that actually does Nat's voice. And I know,
T-Lag, I miss you.
It's not though, is it?
Right. No, it's not me. We'll reveal the secret person behind Nat's voice in the future, maybe.
Right, I think we should bring Trevor in. He's sitting there all patiently. Let me just say hello to Trevor. Let's bring him in, make sure he's there. There we are. Just wait for that to flick over there. How are you doing, Trevor?
Yeah, I'm good. Thanks, Peter. Hi, Simon.
Hi, Trev. Hiya, Trevor. We have a superstar in the house. We are not worthy.
Where? Let me go find him for you. 1 second.
Yeah, no, seriously, Trevor, thanks for joining us today. It's always good to have a collaboration on these sort of things because I've noticed a lot of the Thai YouTubers are kind of running out of content. And, the fact that you can come on here and we can discuss things and ask you questions about your life, I'm sure people are going to enjoy the stream.
No worries. You're more than welcome. And thank you very much for the invite. Much appreciated.
Yeah. I saw you've been busy as well. I'm sure loads of people who are coming in today saw it, but you done an interview the other day. I think it was it ND?
Yeah, they beat us to it.
That was good. That was a good interview.
Yeah, it was fun. It was interesting to be on, and it was just off the cuff, really. So it was cool. I like those kind of things.
They beat us to the finish line, didn't they? I've seen that, and I thought, why now? We got you booked in for Wednesday, and they beat us to it.
Yeah, it was just a random message that came through, and it was way past my bedtime. So at least you're helping me because I'm normally in bed by like 8:30, 9 o'clock of an evening, and they had me there at 10. I didn't leave till gone midnight. It was like really way past my bedtime.
Why is that though? Because I know you get up about 4 o'clock in the morning and you're in bed at 8:30. I would have thought in Pattaya, okay, you can't party every night, but 8:30. I mean, I was just getting going at that time. I was having a shower, getting ready to go out. But is it back to your old army days? Is it just a routine you've never got out of, or what? Or you enjoy?
No, not at all, Peter. It's more a case of like, when I'm here with my family and stuff, and they just annoy me because they get in my way, and like I can't get on with my work, which I want to do. So I kind of got into the routine, and plus, like when I'm up here, like I'm up in Korat at the moment, and like the cock calls and the dogs and everything just goes. It just wakes me up. And to be honest with you, I touched on this not so long back. Unless you're out, in all honesty, when it gets to 9, 10 o'clock at night here, I mean, what is there to do? If there's not a lot to do.
That's it. That's the same here. I normally go by 9, 10 o'clock. That's it, ready to head off. But up at sort of 5, 6 in the morning and get on with things. But yeah.
You know what you're saying there. What is there to do? I mean, I remember there was a time when I lived on, I think it was Sukhumvit 24. I didn't go out for about 10 months. I mean, I went out for meals, I went out to malls, I went out and did the usual stuff, but I just got fed up of going to the bars. What's your name? Where you come from? How long you stay? And it got to the point, it almost irritated me to the point where I just couldn't stand it. And I just stayed at home, did the normal things like you went to bed early and enjoyed stuff in the day, but, got back into it later, of course. But I know where you're coming from on that.
Great way to save money as well.
Let's say
avoid the late night activity. That's it.
Okay. So hi to Damon. How you doing? What time to call me? Hi to Damon, Chris Walker, Nicholas Fletcher. Sure. Have you said hello to most of these? Simon Lewis, the Baron. Enjoyed the cartoons. Dave needs to be faster and bolder. Yeah. David Graham, love Trevor. Great information. I've been going to Thailand for 26 years. Always learning. Alexander Dupont, how are you? I hope we get some nice revelation from Trevor today. Well, we've got some questions lined up for him for sure, but he might go off the cuff a little bit later on. Hi, Hard Tulip, hi from Newcastle. Have you noticed a lot of these people in the chat there? They seem to be in sort of lots of chats, don't they? Some of the names are from yours. Someone's giving us a super chat there. That's Pattaya Jimmy. Thanks, Pattaya. We have three of the best. We have three of the best.
He's a good lad, is Jimmy. Jimmy's a great lad.
Hey, three of the best looking YouTubers. That's in order. Yeah, 1, 2, 3.
Okay, hi to Franco. Thanks for joining us today. It's a bit of a shitty time in the UK to have a stream, but slowly but surely you're coming in. There's 87 now. And as you can see, we've got Trevor with us and we've got some questions and we're going to just let him ask him some questions. Just let him speak, actually. You don't have to listen to us so much for a chat. So I think you've got a question lined up first. So have you, Simon?
Well, yeah, I mean, like you said, we got these all lined up for you, Trev. But no, I mean, obviously, you become very popular over the last few months, and I mean, I'm sure most of the people watch your channel. Obviously, we do, and so yeah, I mean, you're very popular. I mean, so I think a lot of people like to get to know a little bit about you. So I mean, for me, I missed some of the earlier ones, but I mean, what brought you to Pattaya or to Thailand? Apart from the airplane.
Originally, I came here because I'd gone through a divorce back in the UK, and I'd had a couple of years trying to tough it out, and just basically it wasn't going to happen. You know, it was nothing to do with my ex-wife. She was absolutely sound. I mean, we get on brilliantly, but it was her family. You know, they were sharpening the knives, etc. And I just thought, you know what, I've had enough of this. So I wanted to have a bit of a break, and I've been very lucky. I've travelled a lot of places, many different places, and I thought, well, I'll have a look at Bangkok because I've never been to Bangkok. And so anyway, I came over here, had a holiday. And I loved it. But when I came here, stupidly, I mean, I'm not the sharpest pencil in the box. So what I did was basically I went to Bangkok because I looked on the map and it looked like it had a bit of a beach going on in that little top curve there. So I thought, happy days, you know, I love the city. I'm a London boy. So I thought, I love the city. I'll have a little bit of the beach, etc., which is what I did. And when I came over, obviously, there ain't one, you know, there ain't no beach. And this guy I got chatting to, he said to me, if you're on the beach, he said, go to Koh Samui. He said, like, you'll love it there. So the beauty of being here, you know, I've said this before, is that people come here, they don't want to sit themselves down in one location, set their stones out, because it really can change like that. So I packed my bag. I went down to Koh Samui. I went to Lamai and Chawang, and they were just fantastic. Like, the beach was just beautiful. And of course, that introduced me into like, oh, hang on, there's not just beaches here, there's other entertainment as well. And I then met another guy who said to me, listen, mate, if you think Chawang and Lamai are good, you want to head to this place called Pattaya. I said, well, where's that? He said, oh, it's up by Bangkok way. And I said, bloody hell, so I've just come from there. So packed my bag, went back up, went to Pattaya, and I thought, holy jamoli, like, what have we got here?
Yeah, definitely Disneyland by the ocean.
Yeah. Did you like that clip? Did you like that clip I sent you this morning?
Which one was that?
Oh, yeah, that. Yeah, I thought that was Nibiscus to start with, and I realised it wasn't.
No.
Yeah.
Right, I'm a bit of a dinosaur, so I've had to write all mine down.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah, go on, Pete.
Okay, so yeah, I've got mine written down here because my memory is like a sieve. So yeah, my first question to you, Trevor, basically is, what did you do when you first came here, which you've explained a little bit already? But I mean, tell me if I'm being a bit nosy, but do you have a business, or you know, is there something else you do, or is it just YouTube now full time?
What do you mean here?
Yeah, I mean, what I've written down, I said, what did you do when you first came here, which you've explained? Do you have another business now, or are you retired, basically?
I came here retired. I had a business in the UK, which I'd sold. Yeah, I sold my business in the UK, and I'd gone through the divorce, blah, blah, blah. And then, so when I came out here, basically what happened was I was really bored. You know, I was out on Jomtien Beach, and there was just such a lack of information. You know, the papers were awful. They were like, so back in like last week, this happened. And you notice that, realistically speaking, only the people that paid for any adverts were the people that were getting any exposure on the newspapers, which it meant it was the same old dross. And I got really upset with it because I thought, well, I want to, you know, the amount of people come up to me and say, oh, did you know about this? I'm like, no. Oh, yeah, I went there last week. And I'm like, well, where did you find this information? Anyway, so what happened was I got bored of it, and I thought, right, I'm going to start up a little Facebook page, which is what I did. And I think we've got about 65,000 followers on there now. But it was just basically, I would go around and think, right, that's happening, this happening, that's happening. And I'd just share it and share it and share it. And so once that kind of took off, unfortunately, through the success of what I was doing, it caused me to interact with people that perhaps weren't really the people I needed to be interacting with, if I'm being honest. And you know, things progressed rapidly with a lot of effort. And then, unfortunately, the people I was working with turned out to be wrong uns. And so I had to put everything on the back burner.
Right.
Yeah. So, I mean, so you were doing like, I mean, now you're doing, because Buzzin your channel, Buzzin Pattaya, whatever. But did you have your Facebook? Is that also under the same name?
Yeah.
Buzzin or Buzzin Media?
I started the name Buzzin Pattaya because, you know, let's be honest with you, if you come here and you're not buzzing, there's something wrong with you. You know, you need to check you've got a pulse. So it was a case of like, I started off Buzzin Pattaya, and it grew rapidly. You know, it was an incredible journey, to be honest with you, because we went from just having a Facebook page to then I had this, like, I'm a superstar radio DJ, you know, so we had a radio station, which we still got to this day, and I still have. We had a TV channel on Sofon and cable TV, so that was running really well. We had a magazine called Buzzin Lifestyle, which we used to produce 10,000 copies every month and distribute those around East Pattaya, etc. And we had also an in-house digital display system. So we'd have these TVs we would put in loads of buildings in like cafes and restaurants, and then it would screen information, news updates, and adverts. So everything grew really rapidly, and I had a fantastic team with like Megan and Tanya. Megan was on our TV. Babe was the producer for the TV, and it was brilliant. It was really, really good.
So they
Buzzing always. Sorry, Peter.
Sorry, Trevor, a delay there. Are they still all running, or have you sort of wound down some of them?
No, I had to stop it all because the people I was working with were just wrong uns, and in the end, it all went. All these. The problem with Pattaya, I talk about this a lot, and I've got no axe to grind with anybody. But the biggest advice I can give anybody about Pattaya is really, really keep yourself to yourself, because there's so many people out there say, "Oh, I can do this for you, I can do that," and at the end of the day, they can't. Very rarely. Most of them are just like living in the yesteryears. So when it all went pear-shaped, I basically had to call it all a day, and I said, "Look, guys, we'd already split up once. It was 4 of us. It was me and 3 other guys." 2 of the guys we had to get rid of, and then the guy that was left working with me, it turned out that he was just as useless as the other 2, so I got rid of him. And then in the end, I thought, right, that's it now, I'm done. So I shelved it all, and because of my other work I do here with the photography, etc., I was offered other opportunities which I took, and I put Buzzing on the back burner, to be honest with you. And it was only purely and only by chance that I was just chatting to someone, and someone said, "Oh, I watched you on YouTube the other week," and I'm thinking, "Well, you kind of don't, because I've been on YouTube for years." And they were going on about it. They said, "Have you ever thought about restarting?" And I said, "Oh, I wouldn't even know where to start with the passwords or anything." And so basically, I opened it up, and I started. I found the password, and I thought, well, when I started, I had 394 subscribers, something like that. It was
Yeah, no, it's grew a lot. I mean, you, when you were saying about the media, and obviously me being based in Bangkok, one thing I noticed now, there's a lack of some of the media that used to be around. I mean, I don't know if you remember, like years ago, you had the one that I think everyone used to follow was Bernard Trink, and it was the night owl, and then there was like I think it was at Metro Mag, and then there was another. I was just trying to think. There was another big magazine by a German guy. Bangkok something.
Falang.
Was it? I can't remember.
Yeah.
But But I noticed the Thailand Tackler that was going for years and years and years has now decided to pull the plug on that. So that's now another publication gone. So I think the only one that's left now is the Big Chili magazine, which is I don't know if you know that one, but
I know that. Yeah.
That's really good. But yeah, I think there's definitely a lack of some of the media that used to be around. Obviously, you still got things like Stick Boy and a few of the other websites, but but
I mean, a lot of it's changed. I think that's an effect of the impact that social media's had, and the platforms that are available to people now. Gone are the days. Don't forget, newspapers were at their peak when we didn't have the internet, because there was no other way of communicating. So it was a case of, let's get the newspapers, have a read. I mean, I can't honestly, truthfully remember the last time I picked up a newspaper, and I definitely can't remember the last time I bought one.
Well, no, it's the same here. I mean, I remember I used to always get the Bangkok Post, the Nation. Now, I don't bother with any of them. It's like the only time I'll read it if I'm in a hotel lobby and they got one, laying around this for the guests. But as you say, social media, everything now is all online.
And it's easily accessible no matter what you're doing. If you're sat at home or you're on your phone, whatever, you've got instant access to it, which is why I think the social media is the way forward, and the papers and that ultimately will drop off. And I don't mean it nastily. I mean, no dig at you, Peter. I know earlier you said you were 61, but as the older generations disappear, the younger generations won't even know what a newspaper was, to be fair.
Well, that's it. I mean, the world's definitely changing. So, I mean, we covered my second question really in there as well, because it was, why did you start a YouTube channel? But obviously you explained that. But yes, I'll let you have your one, Pete.
Very nice of you. Okay, so right, so I mean, this is a question that you'll be used to answering, because you'll get this all the time, and I kind of know the answer, but I'll ask you anyway. And the question is, are you surprised with the response you have had so far and the fast growth of your subscriber count?
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, like, you know, let's put this down to nuts and bolts, right? I'm just a guy that lives here, that's been here a few years. I've been here 10 years. You know, I'm not exactly a Brad Pitt lookalike, so obviously people aren't subscribing because I'm a handsome man. Although I do hear it quite a lot, but sadly, you know, it's with ulterior motives.
Yeah,
but no, I am surprised, if I'm being honest. You know, it's been incredible. You know, when I revamped the YouTube channel, I only had a handful of subscribers. I think we're now at like 23,600 and something, whatever it is. I can't remember. And it has just like blown up. And I think one of the things that I think there's two reasons, if I'm being honest. I think the first thing is I talk about life here as in life here. I don't big it up. I don't make it up. I don't try and gloss over it. I just say it how it is, you know, and I'll be honest with people. And so I think people can relate to that. And I think that's been really detrimental to the growth of the channel. And also as well is I think what I try and cover is of interest. You know, I've seen it before. No disrespect to people that you know are out there doing the best they can, but some people I look at and I think, wow, like, you know, you really have like just put yourself out there for the sake of putting yourself out there. I'm putting myself out there because I'm trying to like give people a connection with it, but I'm amazed by it. You know, I really never in a million years would have ever said to you, in what, 7 months we've grown to like 23,500 subscribers. Not a chance.
And I think I mentioned to you when we spoke last week, when we did this sort of on a private stream. When I first came across you, I had 17,000 subscribers, and you had 12,500 subscribers. And that was probably only 3 months ago. I'm now up to just under 19, and you're up there. I don't know what you're on, 23, something like that, 24,000,
23,600.
Yeah.
Something.
I mean that's understandable because I'm in the UK. You know, I'm not in Thailand. And you're in Pattaya, you know, you're going around doing the interviews and stuff like that, which are very good. And that's actually why I subscribe, because I like watching that stuff. Like you said, there are YouTubers in Bangkok and what have you, without being derogatory to them. It's kind of the same old, isn't it? Oh, walking down, filming bars that are closed, and you can only do that so many times. Whereas if you're bringing fresh content like you do with the interviews and things, then it does, you know, it's engaging and it makes you feel like watching the next video, as it were.
Yeah, the interviews are great fun. I love it. You know, I mean, it's something I enjoy doing. The people I interview enjoy it with me, and you know, we have a good crack. And I think like people want to know about the people. You know, you walk past these bars, you don't know who the person is that owns it or whatever business it is. And if I can connect you with that person on a level where you think, oh, he sounds like a nice guy, do you know what? I'll pop in there and go and have a word and have a few beers. I think it works. You know, and touch wood, I think when things reopen, I think there'll be a lot more to come from the channel, and you know, there's a lot more I've got in the pipeline, some other plans and stuff which I can't really talk about right now, but there are a lot of things to come still.
Yeah, I think that's the thing as well. I mean, just on that, I mean, I remember watching. There's a photographer. I think it's Peter McKinnon is his name, but he has he's got millions of subscribers, whatever. But I mean, he gave some good tips on about YouTube and where we were talking about, or where you were saying before, you know, you can only do so much of this bar, this restaurant, you know, here we are in Chinatown and all, and it becomes tedious. And then there's just, you know, so many people doing the same content. And I think the one thing that some of these other vloggers have said is people tend to tune in for the person. So, it's more about they want to have a chat with you or myself or Peter, and it could be whether you I don't know, whatever you're doing, but it's really that people want to interact with you rather than the content. So the content is important, but it comes more and more sort of secondary. And I think, like you said, what a lot of people want to do, especially most of the guys who are obviously follow our channels and everything, is they want to see what Thailand's really like for people who live there. Because you can go and see this bar or whatever, but you want to see someone's perspective and experience who's actually there. So
I think a lot as well, like, is I respect everybody that does what they're doing, but you've got to have some energy. There's so many people that they put me to sleep. I'm like, come on, get some energy in. If you're going to do it with passion, or don't do it at all, in my opinion.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, how do you think? I mean, obviously Pattaya, or you spend most of your time there, and obviously where you are now at your home. But do you find it harder and harder to keep getting new content, or do you find that like no, there's plenty out there?
Oh, I love it. I love it. I've got a list of probably 30 videos that I can make, and and again, I don't know what for me personally, what I tend to do is I'm very aware of the news in terms of like media news. I look for things that are going on, and it gives me untold. I mean, I'm getting to the stage now where a lot of people contact me and say, hey, I've seen your channel, I really like what you're doing. Is there any chance we could be on it? And it's nice, it's great that people want to be a part of the channel. It's good for me, it's good for them, so it's a winner for everybody involved. And yeah, I mean, the content, there's just so much I can do yet. So I don't struggle at all. I think it's brilliant. I love it.
Yeah. Well, that's it. And I'm sure between the three of us who have, like 10 years and plus whatever in Thailand, there's just so many stories and so many tips and things that, an abundance of knowledge.
Yeah.
Pete, you got your one? I've covered mine.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So my question, and Trevor, remember I'm a dinosaur. I've got to write it down and have it on a clipboard here. Technology and me is, right. So my next question to you is: do you have any regrets about getting into YouTube? And as far as keeping your privacy with your family now, and now that you're a familiar face, so obviously when you walk around Pattaya, every other person must say, "Hey, it's Trevor," or "It's Buzzin Pattaya." I mean, does that get on your nerves a bit sometimes, or how do you feel about that, your family and everything?
No,
I mean, you can't just go for a meal on the beach road with your family, can you?
I mean, so there's two separate answers to that question. I mean, in terms of like me as an individual, it's par for the course. It is what it is. It's a recognition that the channel's obviously doing well because so many people do come up to me and say hello. I literally every day I'll get people coming up. I mean, I was doing a video down in Soy LK. And a guy's come up to me, hello, Buzzin, and it's brilliant. I was going into my condo, two lads were in front of me, didn't realise, turned around when I was pressing the button to go on the lift. They're like, oh, it's Buzzin. So it is nice for me as an individual because naturally, I don't want to be like that, oh, look at me, this is me and all that rubbish. I'm not into that. My ego's left well behind. But it's nice that people recognise me through the channel. Yeah. But for the family aspect,
I don't have any issue. But
sorry,
exactly, yeah. Go on.
So for the family aspect, that's a completely different situation because my family aren't in Pattaya. We're up here in Korat, so we don't have that interaction. When my missus does come down to see me, I tend to stay to the places that we enjoy, where we go, and people are very respectful to that. They don't come up and interfere. It is what it is.
Yeah, sure. I think as well. I mean,
okay.
When you were saying about that,
Simon's got a good.
Yeah, Peter. Yeah, I don't know if you froze there, but no, you were then saying about the content and all that, and I've seen several YouTubers.
You've got a good.
You see them going around and they start putting the camera in people's faces without asking them, and just suddenly filming them. And I think you told us about one of them, and I won't mention him because I don't want to publicize him too much. But he was getting attacked by various people, and because he just wasn't asking people. And I mean, I mean, what's the worst sort of thing that's happened to you filming? Obviously, you've probably got a lot more manners, so probably not too much.
I mean, in all fairness, I mean, number one, people's privacy is paramount to the success of my channel. So when I walk around, I don't hide in corners and in bushes and stuff like that. I gave that up when I left the UK. I mean, what I do now is, I walk down the center of an area. I wear a Buzzin t-shirt like I've got on now, so people can relate to the fact, oh, this guy with the camera, oh, that's Buzzin. So if they do recognize the channel, they'll either stay away or they'll come and say hello. But I don't use the pin cameras. I don't use any of that. So when I'm walking down the road, if I see a guy, what I always do is I watch their body language, and you'll notice it's very easy to pick up on people that either are happy to be on the camera or are not. And what they'll tend to, when they walk, they'll put their head down, oh dear, oh, he's got a camera. And I appreciate that. And what I do is I deliberately then move the camera away so that they can walk past. And if I look at someone and they're walking towards me and you can think they're not sure, when I'm videoing, I'll be going like, there's a camera, there's a camera. And people walk towards me, that's fine. worst things that have ever happened to me was probably, I mean, I don't get a lot of grief. Very rarely do I get any grief. But what I did have was I had a bar owner. She had obviously had a few too many lao cows, and she thought that I'd videoed her bar, which I even didn't. And the irony of this story is, when I was walking up Soy 7, it was Soy 8. When I was walking up Soy 8, as I was walking up towards it, I said, there's a few people in the bar up here on the right side, so I won't put that on camera. And I deliberately moved the camera away. So I'm not even pointing the camera. Next thing, she's giving it, "Oi, why are you filming? Why are you filming?" And I was just very polite. I said, "You're not on camera." "I see your camera." I said, "Well, that's good. Your eyesight's working, but your logic isn't, because I'm not pointing the camera at you." So, you know, and she kicked right off. But what was really funny was there was a guy with his partner or wife, I'm not sure, but anyway, there was a guy next to me walking past, and he started having a go at it, saying, "Oi, you know, stop having a go. If you look where his camera is," and I was like, "Oh, you know, it's okay, mate. I'm all right. Don't worry." So I don't get a lot of grief. You know, these pinhole cameras, I think they're walking a tightrope. You know, when you get exposed with these hidden cameras, you know,
it's asking for trouble, isn't it?
Oh, it's just so disrespectful. You know, if you're here, that's your business, not the world's. Yeah. And if I put you on camera, I mean, one thing I won't do, and I deliberately stay away from, is putting people on camera in compromising positions. So if you're stood at an ATM, or if you're stood having a coffee, or if you're standing talking to a friend, I don't perceive that myself to be a compromising position. If you're sat in a bar in Soy 6 with 3 girls climbing off you like monkeys on a tree, then I think to myself, yeah, you don't want to be on video, so I won't put that on video. And I deliberately don't point cameras inside bars for obvious reasons.
Well, that's it. And I think everybody who does go out, that's the biggest thing. I know when I've been out, I've been in Hua Hin or Pattaya or wherever. And like you say, if people come along and they just shove the camera in, and you're, as you say, you're out having a good time or whatever, that's the last thing you want. But I've noticed a lot of bars, though, and one thing that really stuck out before, as you know, if you went into a bar, there'd be signs everywhere, no filming. Yeah. And if they caught you, they'd be like, they'd confiscate your phone, or they'd surround you until they'd gone through every single picture. But I've noticed in the last, even just slightly, before all this thing happened, a lot of the bars are getting a bit more relaxed. And I've seen some now with actual people sitting there with their camera on. It might be more on the outside, but filming towards the bar, which they never would have let you before. So definitely the attitudes are changing as well, which is not a great thing if you want to be incognito.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely not going to help people, is it? I mean, like you say, you don't want to be sat there and being suddenly on the camera. But I think my history here is, obviously I'm a photographer, so I do a lot of, I cover pretty much 85% of the bars here and do their photography for them and videos for them. So I'm very aware of people's privacy. I'm very aware of people's attitude towards seeing a camera lens being pointed at them. And, you have to respect that, because at the end of the day, people do not want to be put on camera unless they're aware of it, or it's a non-compromising situation. And these pinhole cameras, I loathe them. I hate them.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
But wasn't there a story you were saying? Because I was watching one of your streams on Soy 6. I don't know if it was that same kind of Mama-san from that bar, but you said she had a mouthful of food. You just kind of spat it at you. You had to sort of duck out of the way. Was that? That
was the Red Point bar in Soy 6.
Okay.
So what happened was, there was 2 of us. We were on a motorbike, and we were trying to film the night scene of going down Soy 6. So the camera's facing that way. It wasn't intrusive. So I'm just riding down the pathway, and she took the food out of her mouth and threw it at us. And I'm like, sweetheart, I'm not hungry, but thanks for the gesture.
Yeah,
that's a good one from Pattaya Jimmy. Like, if live streaming continues, we'll all need a disguise. That's it. We make a killing in them disguises, the glasses and the moustaches.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, the problem is, what a lot of people don't realize as well is when you're in the public domain, as in public streets and things like that, you are available to be on camera, and it's, rightly or wrongly, it's just the way it is. I mean, I'm not saying that it's a good thing, but I'm just saying that is generally speaking, someone takes a picture, like, us three could be down on the beach having a beer, and I say, oh, guys, get together, take a picture. The guy behind you's on the picture. It is what it is.
Yeah.
There's guys who have got channels in the UK, and they got a lot of subscribers, and what the channels are about. In the law in the UK is you can film anything and anybody from a public place. So if you stand on a public road and film a prison or a police station or absolutely anything, nobody can do nothing about it. And people who don't know the law, they'll come out, you see them, they're standing outside a prison somewhere, but they're on public land, and these prison officers come out and you can't film this, it's a prison. And they got channels dedicated to this. So I think really, if you're in a public place, you kind of got to expect sometimes you will end up on camera. It's just the way of the world now.
You go and watch a football match and you're in the crowd. You can't be videoed. Come on. Yeah, exactly.
Well, I've seen one of them channels. I think that was based in the UK. There's a particular channel, and that's what he does. He goes and he does it on purpose to antagonize the local police.
What's his name?
He stands
there.
I can't remember the channel name, but he stands there and basically films, and people obviously call the police and say, there's some strange bloke filming, and the cops come along, and there's not much they can do. And he knows obviously the law, and he antagonizes them more and more to say, like, I'm allowed to be here, what you're trying to do. And and you can get away with that in the UK, but I'm not really 100% sure what the laws are in Thailand, but I know they definitely wouldn't be as by the book in Thailand, I don't think, as they are in the UK, no matter what the law is.
I think at the end of the day, if you're respectful enough for the people that you're in front of, and you try to make it as clearly obvious as possible that you're filming, you're giving everybody the best chance to avoid being on camera. And I've had a couple of people in the last 6 months have said to me, fella, please don't put me on the camera. And it's like, no problem. And then I'll actually, in the video, I'll say edit out 3 minutes and 12 seconds to 3 minutes and 16 seconds. And then I'll just carry on with my video. So I will take people out. I have no issue with it. I won't say, well, actually, I'm filming you. You're on a public. And I'm like, yeah, no problem, my friend. Of course I'll take you out. No dramas. And I do.
Yeah, no, that's it. That's good.
Sorry, before you say anything, Simon, somebody did say what that channel was, because it's Auditing Britain, and that's the guy you're talking about. He goes to prisons and police stations, and he's very good at interacting and saying, well, you tell me what law it is. But just in case anybody wants to catch that later, that's the name of the channel.
Yeah, no.
I've lost track now. Whose turn is it, yours or mine?
I think it's down to yours, Pete.
Okay.
Have you got
another
October,
question here? All right. So, Trevor, when Pattaya is fully open and tourism returns to near numbers, if they ever do, what kind of an impact do you expect that to have on your channel? Obviously, at the moment, everything's running on sort of one cylinder, as it were. So, when they all come back, if they come back, what kind of an impact do you expect your, how will it affect your channel?
It's going to be immense. It's going to be an absolute floodgate of content, for the simple reason being, and I mentioned this earlier on another chat I was doing with somebody about the fact that I genuinely believe YouTube is the go-to place now. I think YouTube is becoming more and more popular. I think Facebook's had its day because it's too restrictive. It doesn't want to play fairly. It's constantly blocking people, etc., etc. Now, YouTube, you can come onto YouTube, you can search what you want to see, and you will be given those results. And I think when the floodgates open, I think there's two things happening right now. So number one, people that can't come out here for obvious reasons are looking at YouTube for that connection. They're looking at YouTube to try and keep themselves within touching distance, kind of where they want to come back when they can. So that to me makes perfect sense, and it's logical. I also think that YouTube will be really, really powerful when you can come here, because I think people will be saying, right, lads, 2 weeks time I'm out, I want to go on there, I want to have a look at YouTube. Right, where can I go? What can I go and see? What's new? Where's open? What's going on in this place? Because, you look at the other social media platforms, touching on Facebook, you can't put a video up of this, you can't put a video up of that, you can't do this, you can't do that. And well, what's the point of you being there? Well, we know the point, because they wanted to just harvest loads of data about what we do and what we eat and when we breathe, etc. But YouTube is a much more a much more available platform. I think it is the go-to platform in terms of, I think it allows you to search for what you're wanting to find. It gives you a visual as well. You know, it's no point having an audio, you know, these kind of, you want to see it. So I think the impact will be incredible. I think I can't wait, you know, because it's like I get requests every day. Can you do this? Can you do that? And like the other day, someone said to me, oh, I'd love it if you could go over to Koh Larn. No problem. No problem at all. When it's open and when things are back to normal. Because what I don't want to do is go to Koh Larn and say, well, when all of this reopens, it will look like this. I want to say, guys, if you're coming over on holiday in the next couple of weeks, get yourself over to Koh Larn, have a look at this, go over to Samay Beach, go over to Tian Beach, don't stay on here. You know, have a look at this. And I want to show them. So I think it'll be incredible. I think it'll be brilliant.
Well, what I think as well, just on that, I mean, you know, I think one thing that everybody's realised in the last year, since everything's been going on, is just how useful online is. I mean, I know, well, we all know, I mean, restaurants in Thailand, for example, before this situation, they'd never sold anything online. But in the last year, they've said, well, I don't need this fancy premises anymore. I can sell everything online, and I'm actually making more money. And I think, you know, you touched on a couple of things. I mean, the future is online, and I think more and more people have realized in the last year, especially, that they need to get online. They need to be going online. And there was actually, one of my kids says it. I mean, they don't watch things like Netflix and all. YouTube is all they watch. And they were saying the biggest search engine, everyone thinks of Google, but actually they were saying, you know, the one of the biggest search engines is actually YouTube. It's become one of the biggest search engines because, as you said, when people want to know someone, first thing they do is go on YouTube, you know, what's it like in Soi 6 in Pattaya, or what's it like Bangkok, and they want to see that
Where's
content.
my girlfriend?
Yeah. Is my girlfriend at work, or is she gone to the temple? You know,
which bar she in tonight?
But no. I think for me, I think when we eventually open up again, like you said, I think yes, we've all got a lot more people watching us because everyone's stuck at home, and so maybe our audiences will get less. But then, on the other hand, I think once it opens up, there's just going to be an abundance of people vlogging and more content, which hopefully will drive more people to watch it. So I mean, yeah, it's one of them.
I think you're right about there will be more people vlogging, but I don't think that will necessarily, in all honesty, improve the quality of the videos that are available, because it seems to me like I kind of get this feeling, and I had this conversation recently where people are saying, oh, there's so many vloggers. And there is, you know, each and everybody is out there to do the best they can and to do what they can. But I think a lot of the perception of what we do here on YouTube, you know, you guys, you know, NDTVI, myself and other people, they think it's a stroll in the park. They think, oh, just get in the camera, walk around, go, yeah, look, here I am, I've got 1 million subscribers. And it doesn't work like that, you know, as you guys know yourself. Right. It's a tough grind. So I think what will tend to happen is, I think, if anything, it will help, because people will see so many different channels that I think they're going to say, do you know what, like, I'll give the guy his credit, he's trying, but it's not really what I'm looking for. And they'll come back to Thailand-Bound. They'll go back to NDTVI. They might come back to me. And I think it will help solidify, like, the cream will rise to the top kind of thing. And hopefully I'll be in that cream. Otherwise I'll be swimming around in the dregs down the bottom.
That's it. Yeah, in another year's time it'll be, didn't you guys used to have a YouTube channel? Yeah, not anymore.
Yeah.
Have you know, this isn't one of my official questions at work, but just out of interest, you've been in Thailand. Have you noticed many sort of YouTubers who you'd see often that are based in Thailand? Have you seen many of them drop off? I mean, I'm thinking of one in particular that I know of. He's just totally out of the scene now. He never does anything. Well, a couple actually. Have you noticed any of them who used to be, you know, always on YouTube? They're not around so much.
I have to be honest with you, Peter, and it sounds awful. I don't watch anybody other than you guys. And I'll be honest with you, you know,
he had to say.
But no, but if you go back through my videos, Peter. Go back through my videos. I've said from day one. You're like the David Attenborough, and I'm like the Steve Irwin. And we've had this conversation. That's how I've always viewed it. And the thing I like about I watch your live streams when you sit there and you do your chats, etc. But I like it because you're just informative. For me, you're informative. I don't watch other people. And I'll tell you the reason why is 2 reasons. One, I don't have time. And 2, I don't want any of my visual thoughts about what I'm going to do to be affected by somebody else. Because the last thing I want to do is think, right, I'm going to go out and do this video. And I go on YouTube and I search. I think, oh, God, it's just been covered. Because then that will put me off. And I don't want it. I am me. You are you. Simon. At the end of the day, we're all individuals. How we put that information forward and how we put it together is down to us. So I don't watch other videos and other YouTubers, not because I don't want to. It's just I don't want it to tarnish my own vision about what I want to do.
I'll tell you what, I know where you're coming from, because I don't watch many YouTube. People will send me messages. Have you seen this? Have you seen that? And I'll go and have a quick look. But I don't have time to actually. I mean, I'm subscribed. To be honest with you, I mean, this isn't a sort of tick for tack compliment session. But I honestly do watch. There's only a couple of channels I watch regular. I used to watch Ed Sweeney. He's gone now. We're not gone, but he's having a long holiday. Yourself is one of the main channels I watch. You know, I can name them on one hand. Ride for Kicks, JD Retirement. You know, there's not many I watch regular. But like you said, it's very difficult when you're actually doing this, because people don't realize just how much time and effort. You know, the filming's one side of it, but that's the easy bit. But you know,
that's the easy bit.
Edit it, and I don't like that, and I've got to do that again, and find the pictures, the thumbnails, the keywords. I mean, it's a hell of a job, isn't it? Actually,
it's a lot more involved than people ever give it credit for. Like, you know, you just said it there. You hit the nail on the head. Oh, it's just a video. You know, walk out. Yeah, I got the video. Just pump it up there. Yeah, and there is so much more to be done in the background that people don't appreciate. And I think that again is why a lot of these potential new vloggers, YouTubers will struggle, because you know it is perceived that it's very easy, and it's not. You know, it is hard graft. But I'm a true believer in you get out what you put in, and if you want it to be easy, well then trust me, you got a shock coming, because it ain't going to be like you're thinking.
I think
exactly.
Yeah. Okay, so let's get Simon back on track. What, you got another one there, have you, Simon? Or
let me just well, it was just continuing on, because I mean, obviously we're talking about YouTube. We spoke about what Trevor was doing in the past, and it was really, I know you said you can't mention it, but it was really, you know, what's your plans for the future? I mean, obviously YouTube is growing, and you're doing more and more on there. Are you what else you got up the pipeline? Can you let anything slip?
Someone tell me.
Okay,
there's someone knocking on your door to bend your arm.
What's your bank PIN code?
Right. So what's the plan? Okay. So all right. So the situation is like this right now. There are lots of things that are being looked at. There was discussion about the Buzzin bar. That was off the back end. And again, this goes to show you just how powerful YouTube is in the presence of the fact that I was on a chat one day and people said, oh, you should have a Buzzin bar. We'll all go in there, etc., etc. And I said, look, guys, it's really kind of you. And you know, thank you so much for like suggesting it. But that's the furthest thing in my life that I would ever do, is to be in a bar. So I'd rather stick a pin in my eye than do that. And suddenly the next thing that happened was like, I had literally the next day, I had about 15, 16 emails, because what I said was, all right, I'll throw it back out to you guys. If there's someone out there that wants to invest in a bar and they want to take care of all of that side, I'm not interested, but they call it the Buzzin bar, and I get an input into promoting it and how we can do it, etc., I would really consider doing it. Next morning, I had literally 15 or 16 emails from people saying, I saw your video the other day. I've got some cash. I'm really interested. I'm thinking about doing a bar anyway, or, you know, how would it work, etc., etc. To the point now where I am in a very serious discussion with somebody, and I am in a very strong situation where possibly there may well be the Buzzin bar moving forwards. I've got the Buzzin radio. That needs a lot more love and attention. And again, I want to do that in terms of get more out of it. We've got a website which we're building and developing. And again, that's going to be a lot more news-related, news-orientated. So that's something that we're bringing into the foray. I've been nagged to death about merchandise, about getting the Buzzin shirts out, which we're doing. That's in progress, and that's coming very, very soon. And people have asked me about a buzzing cafe, like a coffee cafe, because there are a lot of people that don't necessarily want to go out in the lash every night and would like a coffee. Sure. Whether that will ever happen, I don't really know. And, you know, so there's a lot of things that are in the pipeline, but probably the more serious one out of everything is there's likely to possibly be a buzzing bar, possibly.
Yeah. I think, like you're saying, that the evolution of you know, online and everything else, what we were speaking about earlier is, you know, when people used to go to things like the newspapers and all that, looking for what's happening, and the influence they used to have, that's all now moved online. So when you were saying about the buzzing bar and using, you know, your influence on YouTube to promote a business, I think now that's got a lot more impact than say the olden days when people was to put an advert in a paper. Because, you know, if someone, like for yourself, if a bar owner is going to come to you and say, Trev, you know, can you promote my bar or be part of the buzzing scene? Your viewers or our viewers are exactly the right target audience. So I mean, the amount of money they're going to spend is going to be well spent, right? Rather than, you know, you take an advert out and you know, it's a magazine that's sitting in some dentist full of women or some beauty salon.
I think one of the things I'd like to just say very quickly while I can see it there is, and I'll come to Peter's one he's just put up in a second, but Bob Cassidy there, now he's made a very good comment here. He says, Cheap Charlie channel was demonetized and he's pretty much milquetoast. And I think that's a really, really good comment. And I'll tell you the reason why is if you don't plan for the eventuality that perhaps maybe your channel won't be monetized, then you are absolute, as he said, you're toast. So the whole purpose of buzzing is, yes, my channel's monetized. Yes, I get an income from YouTube as we sit right now, but it's not my be all and end all of my life. And if YouTube tomorrow said to me, that's it, you're not monetized. Okay, cool, no dramas. You know, it is what it is. It doesn't affect me. And I think for you to move forwards, you've got to have plan B, plan C, plan D in the background so that if that eventuality does happen, you've got other options. Because even if I'm not monetized and I've got 23,000 subscribers and I can build it to 30, maybe to 40, maybe. And let's be honest, right, and I'm very diversifying very quickly. People get hung up on numbers. Numbers are irrelevant if you don't get interaction. And here's my point. I could have 1,000 subscribers but get 700 comments. Another tube can have 10,000 subscribers and get 500 comments. It shows which one is getting interacted on. So for me, as Bob said there about, you know, you've got to think about the demonetization. My progress forward is not about more subscribers. Of course, it's nice. It's very flattering. But my issue is about making my channel a go-to channel where I will interact. I will answer your comments. I will help you out. I will take on board things you're asking me. So that, like you said, Simon, I can go to a business and say, listen, if you want me to promote you, I can offer you this, and this. And if you think what I can offer you is of value, then brilliant, you know, crack on. If you think you can get better value elsewhere, okay, no dramas, you know. Then you go into the aspect, well, I'll tell you what, let me do a freebie for you to show you the power of my channel and then make a decision. And I've done that many times with people. I put I won't say him because I don't want to do that to him, but I put a restaurant review on my channel, which I did, and he came back to me and said to me, I've got to be honest with you, Trevor, I owe you an apology. I said, why is that? He said, honestly, mate, he said, as a friend, I did it for you because you're a friend. He said, but I have to be honest with you, mate. He said, I've been inundated with people contacting me, with people saying, oh, thanks very much for the review. I can't wait to come and see you. Can I book a room? Can I do this, etc., etc.? And he said, you blew me away, mate. So I had no idea you were going to create that kind of impact. So moving forward, like Bob says, you know, if you rely on your monetization, it becomes your be all and end all of your world. If they demonetize your channel, it's like, oh God, like what do I do? Well, you've got to think outside the box. You've got to prepare for that.
Oh, definitely. I think that's a huge point. That is because as Bob said, and obviously some of the big channels. I mean, you look at some of these huge stars. I think it was, you know, like Mr. Beast, Paul Logan, or whoever it is, and YouTube has just got that much power. I mean, those guys are earning millions, but they just turned their channel off or banned them and said, right, that's it. You know, they've done something wrong. And this is the thing, YouTube can change at any point. And as you say, if they suddenly say, or as Bob said, rather, if they target sort of male-dominated audiences and say, right, we're going to not monetize those channels anymore. If you've been relying on that for the last year or whatever, and you've not done something else, you're knackered. You know, before you know it, that's your income gone. And hence why a lot of these big YouTubers, you know, they build up their merchandise, they build up other things away from YouTube. So you know, all their eggs aren't in one basket, so to say. But yeah, it's frightening what could happen.
What about that guy? Is it Bangkok 911 or 912 or something? He's got sort of like 800-900 videos. He's never in the videos. He just films like walking streets, soy for girls and all this. I mean, he's got a huge amount of, he had a massive following. He hasn't uploaded for about a year because he was demonetized. I don't know if anybody knows anything about that guy.
Yeah, no,
I don't know the guy personally, but you know, without sort of diversifying away from what we're here to do today, but you know, YouTube is a platform. It's not the end of the world. It's a platform, and if you can channel the right traffic from that platform into other platforms that you can do what you want to do, you can also monetize. Well, then it's a winner for everything. You know, if you rely on this too much and it becomes your only income, then I think you are dicing with death, to be fair.
Yeah. Plus as well. I mean, sorry, just on that, we were just talking. I mean, plus as well. I mean, someone was saying on there. I just missed the comment. We did put it up about YouTube being, you know, the main platform. It is, but you know, it's like one thing I have noticed. I mean, we're sort of the older age group, but when I look at my kids, you know, they're in their 20s, and I mean the younger generation. I mean TikTok, Twitch, some of these they're huge. I mean, I'd never used TikTok at all. I mean, obviously we're on YouTube, but when I look at these guys on Twitch, for example, I mean that is massive, and these guys are earning mega bucks on there. But it's a totally different audience, and I mean, you know, it's amazing some of these other platforms, and many of them we've never heard of. Maybe you have, but I mean, you know, do you do anything on those other ones, TikTok or I don't know, obviously Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Twitch, so many.
I've got about 43 social media platforms that I network through. I am on Twitter. I've got about 3 or 4 Twitter accounts. I've got about 3 or 4 Instagram accounts, all the other sort of stuff. I mean, I do have a TikTok account. I have to say it's a bit like pulling teeth, really, because, you know, when you watch it, it's just like, right, there's not really any massive value other than brand awareness. But yeah, I mean, you are right, Simon. There is a lot out there. And that Twitch, I think they just play games, don't they? They video themselves playing games.
They do. I mean, that's one of the main things. But I mean, I notice now they're sort of diversing a little bit more, and obviously they see themselves as a competitor maybe in the future to YouTube. But just on that, I mean, the one thing you notice though is as these new companies come along, whether it's Snapchat, TikTok, whatever, now the bigger ones, i.e. Facebook and YouTube, just tend to gobble them up. You know, they see someone who's coming along that could be potential competition before you know it. Okay, we'll go buy them, and that's it. You know, they're just swallowing everything else up.
Yeah, I think you're right, mate. I mean, it's you know, I still think YouTube is the go-to place, and I think if you can utilize YouTube to the best of your ability and funnel people, you know, it's all about sales funnel. You know, go back to selling. It's about sales funnel. You know, you've got this big funnel, and you've got to get it down to that narrow bit. If you use YouTube in the right way and you drive the traffic in the right direction, then you can use YouTube as a funnel, but not use it as an end source.
No, for sure. Okay. Well, that's it for Mike. That was a long-winded question. He has been sitting there. His mouth's gone all dry.
We've actually brought Trevor on to ask Trevor about his life in Pattaya, and we're talking about YouTube now. So I'm going to bring it back on track now and ask my final question. Well, not my final question, but my final official one. And what I'd like to do after this is open it up to everybody who's in the chat, because we haven't said hello to too many people now because we've been getting into this chat. But, you know, if you guys out there, if you've got any sensible questions for Trevor about his life in Pattaya, that sort of thing, then put them up on the chat and we'll try and we'll ask Trevor to answer a few of them. But again, it's the stream is more about Trevor's life, what he's doing, his YouTube channel, everything. It's not so much about when we think we should go back. Okay, so you've kind of touched on my last question already, Trevor, and that is, have you ever had any hassle from any of the bar girls or viewers regarding the content of your channel? And I know you've told us about the camera sort of thing, but have you got any experiences where people are like, hey mate, get out of here?
No, never.
Okay.
No, I've been very fortunate. I have a very, very good relationship with pretty much every one of the bar owners. And if you look through my videos, I don't actually go in and video inside the bars anyway. So I mean, for me to get the owners onto an interview, that's very easy. I do have other avenues where that kind of content's available if that's the sort of thing people are looking for. But no, I haven't had anybody really. I have the odd person that says, fella, not on the camera, please. I'm like, yep, no dramas, mate, and I will take them straight out. It's not an issue. But no, it's good fun, it's good fun. And what happens now is I find like certain places tend to remember me. So when I'm walking down, they're going, oh, Buzzin, hello. And I'm like, oh, you want to be on camera? Yeah. Hi, Buzzin, so we do get a little bit of fun and games from that. But yeah, generally speaking, I'm very, very lucky.
Yeah, okay. But just before I move on, I'm sneaking a quick one in here. I'd written one down about I can't find it now, but I can remember it. It was about your mum. Because I've noticed a lot of me doing this stream. It's like, hello, mum, she's watching the stream. So I gather you've got a fairly close relationship with your mum, actually, and she watches your streams. And I'm guessing when everything's back to normal, she'll come out and visit you. And I wonder, do you get a chance to go back to Blighty and visit your family?
My mum, yeah. I mean, my mum comes out every year. She has been doing it for years now. And she should be on this, actually. I'm a bit disappointed if I haven't seen her name pop up. But my mum's name's Val Pierce. But yeah, my mum's, she is part of the channel in many ways, because a lot of the people, and again, this goes back to building that community, making people not just subscribers, but part of your community. So when I live stream, my mum's on there, and always loads of people saying, hello, Val, how are you? How's it back in Poulton? Because she lives up near Blackpool. So, a lot of people interact, which is great for me, mum. Do I go back to England? Not if I can help it. If I could stay the rest of my time out here and never go back, then that would be a blessing for me, because I've got nothing. I mean, I say nothing. That's an awful thing to say. My youngest son is still there, but he's leading a very, very happy life. He's doing incredibly well with his golf, and he's focused on that, and I hope he reaches the dizzy heights that are looking at him reaching right now. So for me to go back to Blighty, nah, not really interested. I mean, my youngest son comes out. So I see him, obviously, with the restrictions that we're going through right now. It's not very easy. But yeah, it's all good, mate. It's all good. My mum comes out. She loves it out here. She loves sunbathing.
That's great. That's great. She might get recognised when she's walking down the high street, wherever she lives, and she becomes a little star by herself, as it were. But there's a sensible question on the screen there now, Trevor. I don't know if you want to have a go at answering.
Oh yeah. Hi guys. Question: how did Trevor get into photography, especially beautiful ladies? So when I came over here, I am a very keen photographer. I do a lot of photography as a hobby, as just a pastime. And I got friendly with a few go-go bar owners, and they all have their photographers. Anyway, long story short was that basically one of the guys that owned a go-go bar said, "Oh, he said, me photographers let me down." And I jokingly said, well, look, mate, I've got a camera here, and if you want me to come out and do a photography for you for the girls in the bar, I said, I'll do it for you. Anyway, I did it. He loved the work. And from that, it was very lucky, because a lot of people were saying to him, oh, where'd you get those pictures done? They're not your normal ones. He said, oh, my friend, blah, blah, blah. And then from that, I just got networked around. So I went off and, I cover pretty much 85% of the bars here now with the girls. So yeah, that was how I got into it, and I've been doing it now for 8 years.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, one of the famous, when you're talking about photography, one of the famous photographers was Shrimp. I mean, you've heard of him, who used to do all the calendars and that sort of thing?
Truthfully, Simon, no, sorry, mate, really, I haven't heard of him. No.
Oh, right.
That's not saying that he's not successful. It's just that, like I say, I do keep myself to myself. Yeah,
I was just trying to quickly get his real name, because he used to be around for ages and ages, and I actually saw I read an interview with in, I think it was the Big Chili magazine, but Patrick, that was it, Patrick. But I think he worked for Pearl and Dean originally, but he used to do a lot of the calendars and a lot of his posters. If you go in some of the bars now around Thailand, some of those photos are obviously the original ones from him, but obviously I think he's retired now and moved on. But yeah.
Okay, there's another question there for you, Trevor, on screen. Trying to find a few interesting ones here for you. So
John Lewis, does Trevor prefer life in Pattaya or Korat? I absolutely love Korat. I live just outside of Korat. I live in a very tiny little village. I'm the only Falang here. There's no English speaking. It's just a world away from Pattaya. I love it. You know, it's a bit of a disappointment because so many people have asked me to do a video of what it's really like to live in the village here, and I was going to do it this trip. And ironically, like I was mentioning that I've been confined to the house. I'm not allowed to go out. So I can't do the video, but I will do a video. But no, Korat all day long. You know, the village life, you know, I've done my days of the nightlife. I enjoy it because it's work, and I do it because it is work. It's not pleasure. And so once I'm away from that side of things, I love to come up here and spend time with my family and just, you know, like tonight, you know, we're going to sit outside, have a barbecue and a couple of beers and just chill out.
Stop.
Nice.
Sorry, Peter. Sorry, mate. Sorry.
You just remind me.
Remember?
You just remind when you said.
I watched the video of you out at your barbecue.
Yeah, I see that. My mum's on the channel now. There, she just popped up. Val Pierce. Hello, mum.
Give your mum a wave.
Hello, Trevor's mum. When you were saying that about the only foreigner in the village, I just had a quick flashback to Little Britain and the comedy episodes.
Right.
I don't know if you know that, but yeah, that's anyway.
Yeah, I did. I wasn't a fan of Little Britain, but you know, the thing is like Pattaya is an incredible city, and you know, it's where dreams come true and hearts are broken. I know it's a horrible thing to say, but it's true. But the point being is, when you step away from that, when you go out and you start exploring Thailand as a country rather than Pattaya as a city, it's incredible. You know, it's just an amazing place that I'm very lucky to have lived in for the last 10 years. And I hope and pray I can live here for another 20 years or whatever it will be until it's my time. But it really is, it's fantastic. You know, it really is amazing. And village life, it's just awesome. You know, it's awesome.
Yeah, I think I don't know if I can handle village life
already, haven't you?
How long have I lived here? Yeah, 10 years.
Yeah. Okay. Have you ever got as far north as? Have you been to Isan? You know, you know, Isan is such a. You've been up to some of the villages or cities in Isan because I don't know.
I lived in Isan for 4 years.
Whereabouts? Because Simon and I were there for a couple of years. We were involved in a new hotel, and we were. That's how I met Simon actually. Which village?
Okay.
Whereabouts?
I was up in Dan Krian. Up in Dan Krian in Galasin.
Right. Yeah. Okay. That's kind of a bit more west, isn't it?
I was up by the border. Yeah, up right by the border.
We were in a city called Khon Kaen, but I'm going back.
Yeah, I know Khon Kaen very well.
Yeah, it's one of the 4 big cities in Isan, but I'm going back. When were we there, Simon? Must have been good 25 years ago, 30 years ago.
1992, I think that was back then.
1992. Yeah. It was totally different to what it is now. I mean, I haven't been back there, but I watch videos and. Yeah. So
I used to go all around Khon Kaen, Udon Thani, all around there, Royet, all around that area. Yeah, I love it.
Is there
interesting though, because I spent a long time learning Thai and learning my language. I've got a decent hold on the language, and of course, when you go to Isan, they speak another dialect. You're like, oh God, really? So I had to learn all that again. That was another bit of fun.
I've always found though. I mean, for me personally, I just love Bangkok. I mean, I've lived in Phuket. I've got friends who live up in up in Buriram and places like that, and I've been to visit. But I don't know. I love the city. For me, I don't think I could live in a village for too long. Hua Hin is good, but I think I'd get stir crazy if I was in one of the villages
as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Bangkok is why I originally came to Thailand, because obviously being a city boy myself, to go into a city was a good attraction, and I like it. Bangkok's nice. People say, "Oh, I don't like it, all the grime and dirt and everything." I get that, but it is, as you've said there, Simon, an incredibly good city. Moving away from the city life, village life, I think when you adjust to it, there's a lot of things like that you've got to get used to. Obviously, the 2-step toilets and things like that people think, damn, how do I use that? And the language barrier. I mean, if you can get yourself into the language a little bit more than just the basics, again, it opens up huge doorways.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Is there anything in particular that annoys you? I mean, we all get annoyed with little things, but we put up with it. But when you're on your daily sort of rounds where you live or in Pattaya, is there anything in particular that really gets under your skin that when it happens, you do think, oh, God, not again? A bit of
I still have an uncomfortable feeling when I hear the word Falang.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and I'll tell you why. Two reasons. One, I just think, for me, I just think I don't mind people that don't know me that associate me as Falang. I get that, no problem. But the people that I've made the time and effort to get to know in that bar or in that environment, it would be nice if they referred to me by more than just Falang. But you know, I do get a lot of them say T. They call me T because they can't pronounce the R, so they call me T. But also, I don't know if you're aware, but Manfalang is potato. So in the word Thai, Manfalang is potato. So I'm thinking, are you calling me a potato?
Potato head, yeah.
Mr. Potato Head.
Yeah.
But that's it. I think the thing is as well, what wines, I'm sure you're the same, is that a lot of them, you know, you'll hear when you can understand Thai, it's probably a little bit more as well, because you know they often think that you don't understand, so they start talking about this Falang, and then suddenly you know that winds you up a bit more, I suppose.
I get it all the time. I'm sitting there all the time and they're saying, he's so handsome, this guy, isn't he? Why haven't we met him before?
Yeah, that's because they're talking about me, Pete. And then they said, and his mate Peter, he's not that good.
Then our alarm clock goes off and we wake up and we're in the real world.
I must admit, learning to speak Thai to the level that I can and read and write, etc. I've only ever had one time where it's really been a situation I had to deal with. I was with a friend in a bar, and it's going to sound terrible. We'll say how it is. So he had a particularly big nose, and they were having a laugh at him, and they were being very disrespectful about him and talking away about his big nose. And I didn't like it, you know, because I understood. Now, I don't talk Thai to the girls initially. I leave it alone and, you know, keep my distance. And I'm sat there with them, and we're just having a chat, and they were really, really like going on about him and being very disrespectful. And I said to my mate, I said, come on, we'll go now. He said, oh, why are we going? We'd only had one beer. I said, no, we're going to leave. And he was like, oh, okay. I said, I've got a much better play. Let's go. So anyway, I said, just do me a favour, mate. I said, just go and wait over there for me a second. He said, why is that? I said, just please give me 1 second. I said, I just need to speak to him. I said, no, I've got to talk to him in Thai. You won't understand it. So anyway, he's like, okay. So he walked off. And I said to the girl, and I was angry. I was very disappointed. And I said, and I spoke just in Thai. And I said, the problem with you girls is you don't realise that a lot of these Falangs that you like to call us understand everything you're saying. And I said, when you're talking about his big nose, I said, it's very, very disrespectful, particularly when we were going to sit here and have a nice few beers with you. But now you're so far up your own backside, you want to do that. I said, maybe next time think to yourself, does this guy understand what I said? And she was just like, oh. And I'm like, yeah, you didn't expect that, did you? I said, and if you really want me to show off, I'll even write down what I've just said to you. I said, so how about you don't do that again? And she was like, oh, sorry. I said, no, you're not. You're only sorry that I've caught you. That's the difference.
Yeah, that's it.
I've seen it a couple of times myself. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I'd like to just ask you one more official question, as it were, from the clipboard here. This is an extra one, but I think it's quite a good question. So, Trevor, in your opinion, what's the most successful interview you've ever done, and which was the worst interview, and why? I think I know which the worst one was, but when you go around to bars and restaurants, you do all these interviews.
The one on Thailand-Bound.
At the end of it, not this one, obviously, but when you finish the interview, you thought, yeah, that was really a good interview. It came across well. And then on the other side of the coin, you know, that I wish I hadn't done that sort of thing. Does anything spring to mind?
I mean, well, the worst one you know about, we'll talk about that one in a second, but it wasn't a bad one. It was a learning curve. The best one, you know, I think what I find enjoyable more than anything, I can't really say to you that was the best one. I've had some hilarious ones. I mean, Bazza from Misty's a Go-Go. I mean, to sit there with a guy that stood on Glastonbury stage, dressed as a flower pot, bouncing around back in the day in front of hundreds of thousands of people was just immense. You know, he's such a funny guy. So I've had some really, really enjoyable interviews that I can look back and say, do you know what, that was brilliant. I've had a lot of surprising interviews where people have come out of their shell a little bit. And I'm like, really? Wow, I didn't expect that. So that was good. I think that, if you want to talk about the most or the worst one, if we want to call it that, I don't actually say I've had a bad interview. I think what happened was, you're referring to the interview with Jason Mariner, the Chelsea football hooligan. And, when I did that, look, I take people on face value. I don't give a monkey's hoot what you've done in the past, unless it's to do with really things that I don't like, child abuse and stuff like that. But the fact that he's had a what you would call an interesting lifestyle back with the football, I grew up in the football. I was a Wimbledon fan. I was down at Plough Lane, and we were running the gauntlet against Millwall and Pompey and all those kind of things. So when I interviewed Jason, I thought it was brilliant. I loved it because he was talking about the stupid things that he got involved with and how he's moved his life on, and now he's doing other things, and it's a totally different world. My Lord, Peter Simon, the backlash that I got.
Yeah, we've seen
You're giving this hooligan, this thug, a platform to talk about him and all that. And I'm like, listen, this is an interview. When Piers Morgan goes into a prison and interviews a mass murderer or a mass rapist or whatever, that doesn't make Piers Morgan a bad person. It just means he's asking questions to people that people might want to know about. And so, Jason was a huge. And what I did was I had a knee-jerk reaction. I put my hands up. I had a knee-jerk reaction. So instantly I was losing subscribers, like 20, 30 subscribers. I'm like, hang on, like, what's going on? Yeah, literally within the first hour.
How many do you think they lost because of that interview in total? Because I thought it was just people saying it, but they didn't do it.
I mean, ones I can definitely say for sure I lost about 20 to 30 where people were privately messaging me or publicly messaging me saying, if this is the kind of person you think you should glorify and you should put on your channel, I'm out here. And I had a knee-jerk reaction. And what I did was I went onto the channel and I made a very public video to say, look, guys, if I've done something wrong, I apologize. I'm learning. I'm not the Piers Morgan of this world. I'm not the BBC or anything. This is something I'm learning. So I said, look, I'm sorry. If that's offended you, I do apologize. But the back of that was I got inundated by thousands, literally thousands of people saying to me, good on you, Trevor. Stick to your guns, mate. You interview who the hell you want. It's your channel. You do what you want. Everybody has a past. Some may not have it public knowledge. Some may. And so I thought, do you know what? You're right. And so I stepped away from that and I thought, do you know what? Yeah, you're right. And I did. I actually took part one off. I put it back on. I made it live again, and I made part two, and I published part two on the Friday with Jason. And it was a really good learning curve because I'm not used to this kind of situation. And then all of a sudden it was like, wow, like what a backlash. And then I got incredible support to say, no, Trevor, do what you think you do and do how you want to do it. And those of us that want to support you will, and those that don't can jog on. So yeah, the Jason Mariner one, Peter, was an eye opener to say the least. That's
a great comment on screen now because I agree with that. They may have unsubscribed, but they're still watching you.
Oh yeah. Thank you. Yeah, thank you very much. I mean, it was just, oh mate, you know what I mean? It was like, wow.
I've had it myself. People. I had my channel going for 18 months. I didn't monetize it or anything like that. And I was just telling people stories. And then I got in, Simon and I decided to do something together. And we brought in a membership. I'm not promoting it now. I'm just telling you the story. We've never promoted it. We've never said, go and get a member, anything like that. It was just, we decided to do it because everybody's got one. It's not a big thing, as you know. You've got membership on yours. And we just decided to do it. And we got the same thing. I had guys writing to me saying, oh, this is disgusting that you're trying to get money from it. And I'm like, what everybody else has got, why are you picking on me? So I tried to that private chat we had yesterday about trolls and things. I tend to just, it's water off a duck's back now. It used to really upset me. Yeah. When I first started, it used to really upset me. I could get 200 messages saying, love the story, absolutely brilliant, you put it across great. And I get one guy say, you're a total wanker, mate, you're not even in Thailand. And I'd think about that one guy and it upset me, but not anymore because I've got thick skin now. And I don't think,
I think that's the thing. You got to have thick. Yeah, you got to have thick skin, haven't you? Because I mean, as you were saying, like Piers Morgan and some of these, obviously the TV interviewers, you haven't got that instant feedback and that direct channel to your users. You know, like if you tried to get a comment to Piers Morgan, for example, it would probably get lost in, you know, assistance and through the channels. But with our sort of platform nowadays, you know, your users can message you instantly and directly, and you've got to suddenly deal with that. And I think, like you say, you can get good feedback and the bad one, and this, you just got to try to go through it. And as you say, sometimes you can do them knee-jerk reactions because you're like, we're all new to it, and you're like, oh Jesus, should I do that? Should I do that? And if you take, like you say, if you try to listen to everybody, you just won't know what to do. I mean, you just can't please everybody all the time, as they all say.
Yeah, I mean,
have you got another
trolls, I mean, like Peter said there, you know, with these trolls. When I first started getting the trolls, and I was just like, oh, okay, and you got to step away from it. You know, someone said to me once, if you didn't get a troll on your channel, you're not doing a good job. And I was like, really? And they said, yeah. He said, because you're rattling their cages. So, you know, I love it. You know, people, I get, I've got some right bellends out there that are giving me grief. And I'm like, whatever, mate, whatever. You know, if it makes you watch my channel, thank you very much. You've just earned me some monetization. Thanks for watching.
Yeah, that's it.
You know, it doesn't bother me.
When we had the private, I won't go over it again in detail, but when we had the private stream last week, you remember what I told you about the guy who basically duplicated my site just to leave shit so that I get, I mean, you know, when these serious trolls got a mission in their head, they go for it. And they probably got nothing to do, sat in a room in Pattaya, broke, and they've got all day and all evening to do this, you know, and it can be a nightmare. It really can.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, what you had was just, you know, unbelievable. And, you know, thankfully you've got through the other side of it. I mean, you know, at the end of the day, we're not going to please everybody. That's the whole purpose of having an opinion. I like red, you like blue. It is what it is. You know what I mean? But I think it's quite sad that people take the time to berate you when A, they've never met you, and B, it's like, why? Just if you don't like watching it, move on. You know, it's not the end of the world.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Okay, so question for Trevor. Let me see if I can get this on screen. I haven't read it, so I hope it's not naughty. Okay, there's one for you, Trevor. We're going to be winding this up soon, so if you've got any questions for Trevor, now's the time to...
Okay, yeah, good camera shop in Pattaya. So go to Tupcom and go to... In fact, what I'll do, Peter, if it's okay with you, I'll ping you a link later on tomorrow, whatever, if you would add it in the description. He's a good friend of mine. He's a Thai lad. He works really, really hard, and he's got a camera shop in Tupcom on the third floor. Sorry, on the third floor. Go up the escalator, and he's literally just on the corner. Very, very good.
I'll add that into the description, like I say, because people don't know these live streams actually get held as videos, and we can go in and add and take things away later.
Yeah, that'd be.
I'm going to edit.
Yeah, that's right.
Out of this stream
buy whatever you want, and just tell them to put it on Trev's account.
Yeah.
He's not that good a friend.
No. Yeah.
Well,
he told me I could get some free camera gear on YouTube.
Is he a buzzing member on the channel though to get his discount?
Yeah, that's it. Exactly, that's it. So yeah, okay. Yeah. I'm just on. I mean, we were just talking a minute ago. Just going back. I mean, when we were saying about earlier with your private thing, how do your family think about now of your fame? Do they like my kids? If I say to them, "Do you watch me on YouTube?" They're like, "Oh, sometimes, but it's not my sort of thing." I mean, do your kids or your family do they enjoy it and get involved with it? Or
my mum watches it. My mum watches every show I do. My missus, she comes onto the channel. She watches quite a few of them. But you know, it's not fame, is it? Let's be honest. You know, I'm just a guy that's got a YouTube channel with a few people that are interacting with me. So it's not really fame. It's just more a case of like a few people know me now. But no, it doesn't affect anything. You know, I'm me at the end of the day.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, but the most important question is, are you enjoying it? That's the main thing. Else there's no point.
Oh, I love it to bits. Love it to bits. You know, I noticed someone there just said about do you plan your content, how far ahead? You know, if you haven't got something to look forward to the next day, then there's no point doing what you're doing. And I plan my content. I mean, like for now's a different situation because obviously I've come home. So I've got like 6 days worth of videos already scheduled and in place. So it gives me the time to come and spend my time my family. But you know, I'm sitting there every day. Right, what I tell you, I'll go and do that, and then I get a bit of paper, and I just put down keywords like, okay, so let's say I'm going to go to, I don't know, let's say I'm going to go to Jomtien Beach Road. Right, the Jomtien sign, go to the volleyball park, go to the jet ski bit, go to this bar, and I'll put it all together, and then I sit there and think, right, oh, what a great walk this is going to be. I'm going to go there, do this. I love it. So, you know, I do love it, Peter. There's no doubt about that. I don't do this, and I'll say this out now. I don't do this because of the monetization. I do it because I love it. It's absolutely brilliant. The monetization is the icing on the cake.
Well, that's it. You got to enjoy it for sure.
People ask us, it's the same thing. People think, oh, you're doing it for money. I don't think they realize YouTube doesn't pay out big money. And the thing is, you know, it takes a year or more before you start seeing anything. And then it's a very slow trickle. So it is literally pocket money. It's like, guys, you know, it's a kind of thank you for all the hard work after a year or so. And like you say, I wouldn't rely on it to sort of have it. Well, I don't earn enough to have an income from it, but you know, I've got other things here in the UK I make money from. But it is, like you say, it's the icing on the cake, and it is nice.
Yeah.
Sometimes, you know, you get a little bit of money come through, and you think, oh, well, that's nice. I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah. No, I agree, Peter. You know, and I love what I do. You know, and hopefully that comes across in my videos. Hopefully people connect with me because I say it how it is. I don't rose over things just to make it feel good. You know, I tell it how it is, and at the end of the day, I genuinely love it. You know, people say to me, "You're so enthusiastic." Well, of course I'm enthusiastic. I love it. You know, yeah. So it's not me just trying to be someone that I'm not. I just am someone that is me. And if you met me tomorrow and we're in a bar, I'll be exactly in the bar like I am here.
Yeah.
Only drunk, I suppose.
I'll tell you on that, just because that Nicholas just brought up a good point, and I forgot to ask you that actually, because I noticed on your channel you always say about, you know, you're helping the kids or something. I mean,
the kids, yeah.
What's all that about? I mean, because I don't really know. I've seen you mention it a lot, but what's all that about?
So basically what I do is I raise money for the Ban Crew Jar, which is a children's orphanage for children that have sadly been subjected to sexual abuse and to human trafficking. They are a private place, so basically they get zero funding from the government here, zero support, because they're a private house. And basically what it was someone set it up years and years ago, and they kind of like passed it on to their family as they've gone on. And so what I do is I raise money for the kids, and on the channel they put me through all kinds of tortures. They're going to fire me out of a bloody aeroplane on a parachute jump, and I've got to do the Jomtien zip wire to raise all these money. And when things reopen, I've already done a couple of things. I've taken all the kids, 53 children. I took them out from Qatar. I won't give the house money, and I won't give them food because they get that anyway. What I want to do is I want to create memories, because at the end of the day, if I walked up to them now and said, here's a bag of rice, they're going to say thank you and all the rest of it, but it's a bag of rice. It's about as interesting as watching paint dry. But if I said to them, right, get in the BART buses that I've booked, let's go and have Qatar, and let's go and eat in a restaurant that you wouldn't normally go and eat in. And when I did that, it was on my channel, the video, it was just unbelievable. The smile on their faces. There was one particular thing that happened that I have to say, and I hope you don't mind me sharing this, but I was in the Qatar place, and I was watching, and all the kids came in. I said, right, there's 53 of them. I said, right, and we took over one whole side of the restaurant. And then there are a couple of helpers there, and I said, right, they can go and eat now. And I noticed that all the children were going to like the vegetables and going to like the pork and the chicken and stuff. Anyway, this little kid came up and he tugged me, and he pointed to the prawns, and I said, yes, go on, you can eat. And I said to him, I said, you can go and eat this. And he's like, can? I'm like, yes, of course you can. Come on, let's go. And it was incredible. It was hilarious, because what happened was literally within the space of about 20 seconds, the whole seafood place was emptied out. They just emptied it out. They were like on claws, on crates, and they loved it. And to see their faces was just unbelievable, you know. So yeah, I raised money for the kids. What I will be doing is, once the place is reopened, I've got enough money now. We've absolutely been brilliant. The support's been incredible. I've got enough money now to do about 6 or 7 trips out to take. I mean, there's 54 children now, but to take all the kids out, and I'm going to take them to like the crocodile farm, things that they can look back and go, oh, that was really good. And I know it sounds really gay and stupid, but for me, for the kids to go back that evening, lay in their bed, and whisper when they're meant to be asleep. Oh, do you remember the crocodile? That to me is worth everything. That's to me worth everything.
No, well done. Hats off to you. It's really
Quick
good.
Quick question on that subject, and you might not want to answer it, but I think there's a little bit of an echo on my mic today, so apologies for that. I'll use these next time, but hopefully we'll get through it. We've only got a bit left, but how you are describing when you get donations and you do what you do with the children homes, everything, the meals, what you've just described. I mean, that's absolutely perfect. You know, people are seeing the money work. You're giving it to the right people. There's a controversial YouTuber out at the moment. I'm not going to name him. That wouldn't be fair. He's very, very popular. But what he does, he goes around, he just hands out money willy-nilly, hides it, hopes people will pick it up. And there's been a whole load of stuff on circulating on social media recently. I mean, what's your views on that? Do you think that's a good way to give out money, or do you think, you know, what you do? I mean, what you do at the moment, I think is, me personally, I think that's the right way, because you're funneling it into the people who need it, rather than just willy-nilly. Who, you know, you could give it to a millionaire, could walk past you, give him $1,000 baht. You know, what do you think, Trevor? You got any views on that, or would you rather sort of stay away from that subject?
I mean, all right. So
I think you know who I mean, right?
I'm not quite sure. Possibly.
Right, well, don't worry about it. We'll keep it in a general question.
Yeah, I mean, the thing that is okay, it's really, really hard to understand how somebody has become homeless and how somebody's in the position that they're in. The reason I'm not going down that route, and you put me on it now, but all right. So my point is this. Let's just say someone got involved in taking things they shouldn't be taking, or doing too much of something that they shouldn't be doing, and it's had a detrimental effect on their life, and they've then become homeless and everything. If I've got money in my hand, I'm not going to give it to them. I'm going to give it to a little kid that hasn't had the opportunity to mess life up.
Exactly.
So that's just me. You know, I would rather support the children, because at the end of the day, let's be honest, right? These people that are on the streets, I feel for everybody. You know, I really, really genuinely. And even if they've had a bit of bad luck in their life and they have done some silly things and they've ended up homeless, etc., I still feel for them. I really, really do. But I just think, if I can look at an 8-year-old kid that's been pushed around in human trafficking, or maybe been abused, whatever, and I can put a little bit of a smile on that face for that child, just for one evening or 1 hour or one day, whatever it is I'm doing, to me, I want that child to sit there and go, do you know what? Life isn't always as bad as maybe it has been. So that for me is, you know, so when you go out handing out money, I've seen it before, you know, and to be fair, it was my missus. She was the one that really drilled it home to me. You give someone money, how do you know they're not going to go into the nearest 7-Eleven and buy a bottle of Lao Cow and get smashed out their face? How do we know that?
Well, not only that, Simon, sorry, you made a good point the other day.
Yeah, well, I was thinking what we were talking about, because, you know, obviously being in Thailand, I mean, we all know Thais are very charitable. You know, a lot of the Thais, they'll go to the temple to do tambun, or they'll go to the kids' homes and give away, not give away money, but they'll go there and feed them for the day. And obviously my wife, she does quite a bit of that. And I think you got to be very careful, or this is only my opinion, on YouTube about charity work, because I don't know if you saw that Thai. She was a Thai YouTuber, but she made a big point of doing a charity thing and videoing it, and it blew up in her face, basically, because you know, people were screaming at her saying, "Oh, you're only doing this to get YouTube followers," and she had to, you know, publicly apologize for it.
But this is a Thai thing, wasn't it?
This was a Thai lady doing it, but I think the guy who Peter's on about, I think he's the same there. I think he's got to be very careful, because how he's doing it, it's not charity. I mean, charity for me, and I'm sure like you do, Trev, is it's done quietly. You don't need to publicize. Oh, I've just, you know, you do it because you want to do it, and if you take that and give it to them, you don't need a reward for doing it. You're doing it because you love it, and you know, YouTube gives us a platform to help raise the money and give that. But I think when people start publicizing it and hey, look at me, I'm giving away money down the street, it can blow up in the faces eventually. And I think that's what's happening with the guy Peter's on about, because how he did it, I thought was out of order. He basically hid some money on the road and waited for people to pick it up and secretly filming them. And it's like, come on, mate, don't degrade people like that. If you're gonna be charitable, take the money, do something good with it. And he has done good things in the past, so I don't want to knock him 100% because he's done some very good work with it. So I think hopefully he's realized maybe the errors of his way and goes back to the old way he was doing things, because I think how he did do some of the things was good. But anyway,
the only thing I will say about the videos, I mean, the only reason I make my videos is because people are sending me money, and I want to I want them to see the good that they.
That's a good point. Good point.
Yeah, that's why I do my videos.
Yeah, that's a good point, Trevor. You want people, it's like someone sends you $100, 3,000 baht. They want to see that 3,000 baht spent on them kids. They don't want, people's mind to go overtime. But I want to make a point that I was just trying to make with Simon just now. You brought up a very good point the other day, Simon. On that particular stream, the video that we're talking about, this guy was just going up to a noodle stand and saying, here's 100 baht. Or he was going up to someone else, here's 1,000 baht. And what Simon said, and I know this to be true as well, the Thais, they have a lot of pride. Most of them won't take it. If you go, some guys chopping up melons, and that bag of melons is 50 baht. If you say to that guy, do you know what? I love watching you chop them melons up. Your melons are tastier than anyone's else's. I've been coming here for a year. I really enjoy it. I'm glad you're here. I'm going to give you 500 baht instead of 50 baht. That's a tip. They'll take it and they'll why you and they'll thank you. But when you just go up to somebody and say, there's 500 baht, a lot of these people, you could see them. They were kind of like, I don't want it, mate. I don't want it, Yeah. So I think that's quite an important point to get across.
I did want to mention what Timmy Saul said there as well. And that's what I did say. The guy who had taught me, he's done some very good stuff. So, maybe that was just a bad judgment he could call on that. But no, I mean, we don't want to. Anyway, enough of that. At the end of the day, what you're doing, Trevor, for all of that is great, and keep it up. It's really good.
We're not just lastly. We got Trevor on here, so I want to hear him speak. But just lastly, on that point that you said, we're not about bashing people. It's not like, look what he's done. He's so bad. He's got a great channel. He's a great guy. He's made a lot of good videos. He's got a lot of followers, and most of the time he does excellent work with the charities. It's just that one. I'm just giving a personal opinion like others are. So we're not bashing anybody, believe me.
Yeah, no, that's cool, man. I mean, like I say, I have to make my videos because I want people to see where that might. But more importantly, I want them to see the look. If you ever get a chance to watch the video when I took the kids for the Mukata just before Christmas, their faces. I was just, if you could wrap up, like, say to me, right, Trevor, like, what's one of the 10 most memorable moments in your 10 years being here? 100% that would be in the top 10. 100%. It was just. That little kid coming up to me and just pulling my shirt and pointing at the prawns, and I was just like, "Yeah, come on, let's go." Man, it was just so good to see.
And well done to you for all the stuff. I'm sure they all appreciated it. But you know what, Kev, Trevor, I don't know why I couldn't get Trev. Time has become an enemy. Because, believe it or not, we said to you the other day, you'll be on for about 30 minutes. You've now we normally, because I've got to go out in about 20 minutes. So, it's been a great stream. I hope everybody's enjoyed it. I certainly have. And I think you have, haven't you, Simon? And I hope you have, Trevor.
But
unfortunately, time has kind of caught up with us now, and we're going to have to kind of wind down. Plans for the future? I think you've touched on that, really. Just a final word on that. Anything you'd like to tell us about the future?
Just watch your space, guys. Watch the space, and let's see what happens. And one thing is for sure, that there's some good stuff ahead. So but I would like to say, thank you very much for the opportunity to come onto your channel, Peter, and to Simon. You've both been fantastic. I'm not just saying it. I really do enjoy what you do. Like I said, you are the David Attenborough, and I am. That's how I just view it. And it's been brilliant. So thank you very much for the opportunity to come and talk to all you guys that watch this channel. And, it's been really, really good. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. And, just watch this space, guys. And what I will do, now we had that talk before about how you use this flash stuff, because what people always laugh about me is I ain't got a clue how to do this. But now we have. What I'll do is I'll return the favour and I'll get you onto the Buzzin channel.
Definitely. And in case you're living on the moon and you don't know, that's right, isn't it? Buzzin Pattaya. Buzzin.
Separate. Yeah.
Yeah, so make sure you visit Trev's channel if you don't already know. I'm sure you all do, but great channel.
Yeah. Yeah,
Thank
it's a
you very
great
much.
channel.
But I'll
like
get you boys
like
on now. I know how to
saying
use this software.
You know, there's 100 channels on Thailand, if not more, out there, and I'm only subscribed to about 5 of them, and yours is one of them. So there you go.
Yeah. Thank you very much. It's very
okay,
kind.
Trevor. Thanks. I'll just have a quick word with Simon before we end the stream. But it's been a pleasure, and we definitely should be watching your next stream or video. I hope it's been fun for you, and I hope we'll catch up again soon.
Yeah, no, it's brilliant. Well, I'm live streaming tomorrow at 5 a.m. Thailand time, so that'll
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That's okay for me. It's 11 a.m. I'll try and get in the comments.
No, in the evening. That's 5 a.m. my time.
Yeah, so for me, I'm 6 hours. No, you're 6 hours.
6 hours behind. 11 p.m. your time.
11 o'clock at night. But I did catch you on one. Do you remember you were doing a late night when I wrote a couple of comments? I think I'd had some whiskey, so I worried about it. I thought, oh shit, what did I leave on his channel? But it was okay. I checked it in the morning. It was okay. All right.
More than welcome, my friend. More than welcome.
Trevor from Buzzin Pattaya. And thanks again, Trevor. We're going to let you go and get on whatever you do now, which I hope isn't going to bed right now.
No, I'm going to go and have my dinner. So thank you very much, guys. All the best. Great time. Cheers,
Trevor.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. Yeah, he's a great guy, isn't he?
Yeah, that was good. Really interesting. So hopefully you all enjoyed that. Obviously, thanks for Trevor to coming on, and we've got more and more guests coming up. So we'll try to keep it nice and interesting for you instead of just having to watch me and Pete.
Right. I got to put that one up. Hang on, look. The only problem is that we can both put comments up. I keep conflicting with your comments
and get the cartoon.
Right, bugger off and get the cartoon done. Yeah,
I agree, Timmy. Get the cartoon out. We want to know what's happening to Nat and Dave.
I don't want to do a told you so, but I said it in quick.
You are?
What's that?
I said we want to know what's happening to Dave and Nat.
Well, that's it. I mean, even I'm not just saying this because of their animation is funny. I look forward to seeing it. When I looked it down, I thought, it's not on there yet. So when I come back later, I'll be looking for it.
Yeah, well, just to all let you know, the next cartoon is going up today. It was just slightly delayed because of our live stream today with Trevor, but it's all ready to go. So late in about another hour or two, the episode 3 for Dave and Nat is going to be up. So nice, another twist to the story.
Yeah, I was going to ask something there about it, but it might give too much away. We haven't, because we've had Trevor on, a great stream with Trevor there. We haven't said hello to everybody. So I'm just going to run through the list and just say hello to everyone before we go, if that's okay. So I want to say hi to Nicholas Fletcher, Robin the Chosen One, David, Timmy So. If I leave your last name out, it means I can't pronounce it. Robert UK, Rax, Mr. Superstar, we've done. High Five, Patty, Jimmy here again, Simon Allison, Bob Caddy, Dave Graham, Rusty Graves, Tilt, as always, thanks for being here. Will Smith, I think that's LK Bart 1, yeah. I think Hard Tulip, hi to you again. I think we're pretty much David Quiff. Is it Quiff? Thanks for that super chat, David. Appreciate that. Yeah. Summit, hi Adrian to you. High five. Have I missed anybody out? I think that's everybody. Ken and John McLeod. I'm going right back now. Hobart, Ting Tong, great name. Yeah, okay. I think if I missed you, apologies. Let me know and I'll give you a shout out. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know if we've got anybody for next week. I've been reaching out. I've sent out some messages. Unfortunately, I haven't heard back from Ed Sweeney. Again, people have said to me, get Ed on the show or on the stream, and I haven't had any response. I wrote to another YouTuber yesterday. I won't mention him, but he hasn't come back to me. So I don't know. Maybe he hasn't read his emails yet. Can I have Nat's line number?
We've got a few in the pipeline, so yes.
Yeah, we can't promise guests every Wednesday, but they'll be regular because it just makes for a better stream, I think, at the moment. Yeah. There's a picture of me naked again.
Yeah, I don't know where. Yeah, they say they must have got you in the shower there. Look. But Robin the Chosen One. That's me swimming in jump in. Have you created the whole series or doing it weekly? So at the moment I create the cartoons weekly. I'm trying to get ahead of myself, but they do take quite a while. But yeah, so weekly, and we'll have some guest appearances in there. We've got some more guests actually going in the cartoon, so I'll make character versions of them. We'll get them in the cartoons. Yeah.
Okay, I think we'll probably wrap this up now. I've got to crack on. I think you've got some bits and pieces to do as well, haven't you?
Yes, yeah, definitely. So yeah, thanks everybody for watching the stream today. As we said earlier, hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah, and a big thank you to Trevor, of course, and we'll try and get into his live stream tomorrow, and hopefully that will be a lot of fun as well. Okay, guys, that's about it. You got anything else to say, Simon?
No, that's it. Thanks for watching, everybody. Take care. See you soon.
Okay.
Bye.
All right then. Cheers.